of people like you helping each other. So yeah, if you're frustrated too, here's your chance to make a refreshing change. You'll notice the difference as soon as you call. They're easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Harvey Weinstein is expected in court today for a hearing ahead of his third New York rape trial.
Weinstein has a status conference and is expected to have a new legal team on hand. The former Hollywood producer just hired the same lawyers who represent Sean Diddy Combs and Luigi Mangione. Weinstein's third trial will involve allegations he raped actress Jessica Mann in a Manhattan hotel more than a decade ago. It's not clear when this third trial will start. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New York.
A new study shows food quality is the key to having a healthy heart.
Researchers at Harvard University followed 200,000 people in the U.S. for 30 years and found some low-carb and low-fat diets are better for heart health than others. However, the study shows the quality of food matters more than the amount of carbs and fats. The study, published in Science Alert, shows too many processed foods and a lack of veggies, fruits, whole grains, and healthy fats may not benefit long-term cardiovascular health. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
A new research review suggests a simple handful of pecans each day may support heart health. Researchers analyzed more than 50 studies and found that people who regularly ate pecans often had lower total LDL or bad cholesterol. Some also showed improvement in triglyceride levels. Experts say pecans are rich in healthy fats, fiber, and antioxidants. Still, the findings show association, not proof of cause. Dietitians recommend about 1 ounce daily, ideally replacing less nutritious snacks. I'm Ron Warner, USA Radio News.
You can help put vets to work by donating your car, truck, or van. Your donation will directly support programs to help vets find jobs or even start their own business. Donate today for fast, free pickup of your vehicle. Call 800-209-4580 for 24-hour response. Call 800-209-4580. That's 800-209-4580.
Dependable Lock Service is your source for replacement car keys, custom safes from Liberty Safe, and so many more lock and key services. With over 30 years of experience in lock and key industry, there's nothing Dependable Lock Service can't do for you. Whether you're looking for duplicate automotive chip keys, rekeying commercial and residential locks, or custom safe building, we've got you covered. Call 603-886-0559. Nashua's Dependable Lock Services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
The sky's not the limit, it's just the beginning. I'm Ed Mullen from Nashua Aerial Advertising. There's no better way to advertise your business and or message than high in the sky. How can you make your advertising budget work for you? By putting your ads up where they'll stand out. The sky is an uncluttered, impressive venue. You can put your message over a region or location to target your desired demographic. Put your ads where they're needed. We provide coverage over communities through Merrimack Valley, Greater Nashua, Manchester, Lowell, and points throughout South Central New Hampshire and North Central Mass. Summertime beaches, sporting events, races, fairs, and festivals are all ready-made for banner telling. For more information, please visit us online at NashuaAerialAdvertising.com. And remember, the sky's not the limit, it's just the beginning.
Tired of wondering where your money really goes? At Mammoth Nation, we built what was missing. The America First Marketplace. Every brand we feature is 100% American owned and operated, rigorously vetted for their values and committed to supporting our Constitution, law enforcement, and the American dream. When you shop with us, your dollar stays in the neighborhood, supporting families, veterans, and charities like Folds of Honor. No more sending your hard-earned money overseas to the companies that don't respect you here. Your dollar reflects your values. Your dollar, your values, your America. Join Mammoth Nation today and be part of building a patriot economy by going to TruckersUnitedForFreedom.com affiliate page and hit that link. American built, America strong, Mammoth Nation.
The views and opinions of the following show do not reflect those of WSMN, its owners, and/or associates.
Welcome to the Common Sense Conservatives, a political discussion group about current events and other government-related matters every Wednesday evening from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on WSMN 1590 AM, WSMN 95.3 FM, and streaming live on wsmn.live. Making sense of the inverted reality we are subject to every day, the Common Sense Conservatives are here to help bring you back to reality. Now, your hosts, Chris Wyatt, Todd McKinley, and John Grosvenor.
Hey, folks, welcome back. Good evening. It's a Wednesday evening. And son of a gun, if it isn't the 250th episode of this program with myself and John Grosvenor up there in studio in Nashua, New Hampshire, and, of course, Todd McKinley, who's out in East Tennessee, not with us at the moment. Todd will be joining us shortly. But a little bit of breaking news before this. Sadly, the tragic passing of legendary football coach Lou Holtz, just announced in the past half hour. Lou Holtz, age 89, has passed away. Another legend has gone. A staunch conservative and Republican, Lou Holtz will be missed greatly. That's just happened. And the Senate failed to pass a ridiculous resolution to stop the War Powers Act, the president from acting in Iran, lost 53-47. So that's news breaking at this hour. But in this first hour, we have a special guest with us tonight who was previously on my program. Neels Haystack will be with us tonight to talk a little bit about his experiences as a South African coming to the United States under President Trump's program. He's arrived, and son of a gun, he lives in New Hampshire, in the Granite State, right there, not too far down the road from where John's at. John, I think you're going to have a few questions of the new resident of the Granite State, so why don't we welcome in our guest tonight?
Absolutely, Neil. Welcome to the show. Maybe you'd like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, thanks. First of all, thank you, Chris, for inviting me, and John for picking me up. From South Africa born and raised during both dispensational eras of the political sphere out there, the old, what they would refer to as apartheid government, and then the new ANC democracy nightmare. I was born and raised there, loved my country up until a point where we saw it just really becoming a cesspool. Dangerous to live in, just a terrible mess, no service, just highly corrupted. We didn't feel safe. We had various incidences concerning our safety while in South Africa. You would struggle to meet anybody nowadays in South Africa that hasn't been through an horrific crime experience or has lost someone dear to them due to crime. So I basically watched the country that I grew up in just deteriorate and just become a cesspool, which really saddens me. But I decided that, it's safety comes first. My family have been through some traumatic experiences. So we decided we'll go search for asylum. We went to Ireland, and we'll get into a little bit more of that, but turns out that I wasn't wanted there either. Asylum case rejected. Came back just in the right time to apply for President Trump refugee program. And here I am, currently in the United States of America. Happy.
Well, that's quite a whirlwind. Hey, John, it's quite a whirlwind thing. I was going to tell you, John, that he mentions going to Ireland, and he's not alone. 63 South Africans who were asylum seekers were just deported from South Africa. They put on a plane and sent them back. Meanwhile, Ireland is overrun by people from the developing world who are destroying Irish culture, attacking Irish, and just turning their cities into a cesspool that he keeps mentioning in South Africa. That's the way it is in Ireland. Go ahead, John.
Oh, yeah. Ireland's a mess. I wouldn't recommend anybody go there even for a tour as a tourist right now. So how long have you been here, Neil?
1 month now, almost. I would say about 2 days from a month. So, yeah.
So you're just now getting settled in here. How are you finding things here?
I mean, massive improvement from where I come from. I think for most of us, we've become used to the country's deterioration as it is, living in silence and in bitter unhappiness, but our voices aren't heard. So, coming here, you can immediately see that we're in a first world country here. My experience so far has been good. There's still a lot more to expect because at this stage we're still waiting on a few things to get our life started, social security numbers, to get get into the working world and experience a little bit more of America, travel around a little bit more. So in my first month, I've seen mainly airports, aircrafts, and then my apartment and Walmart and a couple of shops. And so luckily, I think I'm young enough to hopefully be able to see a lot more of America. It's just been a month. So, but so far I can feel just the neighborhood friendliness, the welcomeness, just going into a store and experiencing, good service. It's such an awesome country. I mean, we come here, and before we get here, we already start feeling patriotic towards this country. This is a real thing for us. Us Afrikaners, we're constantly in contact on various groups, and we feel like really patriotic just before we get here. And by the time we get here, we're overwhelmed.
I think he's going to make a good conservative there, Chris.
Well,
we know the liberals don't.
There's a possibility that would be one reason why the liberals are going bat crap crazy about letting South Africans come into the country. People actually that are grateful to come here, people willing to accept our mores, our norms, our values, our laws, and retain their own cultural distinctiveness at the same time, and become Americans, or at least respecting residents in our country. Unlike so many people come over and steal $18 billion from us to create layering centers in Minneapolis just to get started. People who look down on Americans and insult us. It's insane. They come here, they get safety, and they're abusive. But these are refugees who've come over from a country and they've suffered badly, and they've been suffering that side, and they've been abused by people in the press. So, Neels, the adjustment so far, how's it going for the family over here? Are they adapting well? I know it's just been a month, but what's it like?
Some challenges, of course. We're adapting pretty good. Like I said, we want to assimilate more, but for now there is some barriers that we need to overcome first. So I'll be honest with you, there are days that it's difficult for my wife. You've got to remember one thing in the refugee program, they don't stick you in what you can later on afford for yourself. They stick you in accommodation that is often very old, and it's the first time for us living in an apartment where there's someone below us and someone on top of us. So it's all those little things, that you forget what it's like when you hear the dog running around upstairs, and then you realize you're in an apartment. But it's again, you take what you can get. Not often these landlords are sometimes referred to as slumlords, but it's adequate. My wife and myself's view on it is a little bit different. I look at it as something that's very adequate for now. Very grateful to be in the country, and then we can improve on ourselves. It's just, what it is. It's difficult for a woman, for a wife, when she comes and she gets given a place. They want to pick out their own place, but we're not quite there yet. We're not quite there. So she needs to be a bit patient. We'll get there where we're earning our own dollars and we can go pick our own place. So we're adapting. My daughter should have been in school already. Honestly, I think there was a little bit of feet dragging there, but I know there was also a little bit of a holiday. So she needed to get some jabs before she can start school. She's extremely nervous, and she's going to be starting hopefully next week. Sometime. And then my son that's living with us, he's 23 years old, and he makes me very proud because he keeps telling me every day that he can't wait to start working. So it looks like I'm not going to end up with one of those 40-year-old kids living in my basement. He really wants to get out there and work. And so that is coming within a matter of weeks. But and of course, we got here with miserable weather. We're slipping and sliding all over the place. I mean, we're falling.
You came out of summer right into winter,
exactly,
didn't you?
Exactly. We're not used to navigating ice, man. I literally fell out of the combi, the little van that they brought us in to the Airbnb. When I opened the door, it was like 3 feet of snow, and I just plummeted right into it. So the agent stood there politely waiting for me to take about 3 falls before I could get to the door. And we've all had a bit of a slip and a slide.
Don't feel too bad about it. I just fell here this morning in ice, and I live in New Hampshire, so it happens sometimes. You're working and it gets slick, and you lose your footing and you go down.
Exactly that.
Hey, John, when you get a chance here, take a look at your YouTube channel. You've got a hate wanker there that doesn't know whether he's gay, straight, bi, lesbian, transsexual. You can just block him.
I'm not sure I'm
Little hate.
getting chats. I got no notification. Nope, I got nothing on chats. So I have
Go to your
my cell phone.
TIBN. Yeah, you got a little hate wanker there. I'm not a
No.
moderator on there, so I can't take care of it. They're spewing racial hatred. So let's just take care of that. So you can be by there, buddy. You can let go of your special appendage there and get back to reality. Let the blood flow.
Special appendage.
And let the blood flow back to the right part of your brain.
One thing I heard from you, Neels, when you were talking was, and something we don't think about, being here from the United States, is you had to give up all this control to come here. Basically, what you were saying is they put you into a place.
Yes.
You didn't get to choose a place. They put you into a place.
Yes.
So you're really giving up control of your whole life to get here and try to transition into this new life that you're creating.
Exactly that. But I got a bit of experience. I did that once for the Irish government, and that was horrible. I feel a little bit like I'm in safer hands. So yeah, it's exactly that. I mean, you get here, there's a lot of paperwork. You got to learn things. You got to sign this. This is your benefits. This is what you get. This is what you don't get. This is how long you get it for. And pretty much you're not in control. You're not in control up until that point where you get your social security number, your EAD. You can start working. You can start picking your own place to live. For most parts, it is difficult. But having said that, I've done it before, and I've given myself over to a lot worse people. Lot worse hands. The Irish government is rotten, and now I've come to America, and I'm quite happy to give them the control, because I know that they've got my best interest at heart.
So, John, it's interesting because he took an unusual path. Most of the folks that have come over in the refugee program to the United States in the past, and especially those that come to the South Africa program, have gone through the refugee process. But actually, Neels went to Ireland, and he found out just how evil the Irish government can be. They were heartless in sending him and his family. Well, he actually went back before he got deported, which was smart. The 63 people that just got deported from Ireland, I caution people, I warn them, they should go on their own volition rather than get that stain on having been deported. But they got themselves deported. That's unfortunate. Neels, did you know any of those people that got sent back?
They're not really showing their faces, so no. The people that I'm in contact with that is still in Ireland, that I know of, South Africans, most of them now, after speaking to me and finding out a little bit more, have now decided that this is the best way to go. They've now packing bags, and they're ready to come to America. These are, again, not people that are resettled in Ireland. These are people fighting asylum claims, people trying to prove to the government that they're being persecuted, that they're being discriminated against, that their lives are in danger, and the Irish government refuses to believe it. They just point blankly say South Africa's safe. So we've tried for 2 years. I've tried to fight the system by going on hunger strikes and rallies and all sorts of things, going to the newspaper. And I can now safely, honestly tell them, you guys are wasting your time trying to stay there. The Irish government is rolling out the red carpet for various groups of people. But like for us, again, it seems like we're the wrong color again. When we got to Ireland, we thought, well, we're Europeans. We're coming home to our country. We're coming to a European country where they will help us. And they've point blank refused. They've point blank just refused.
In fact, there's a black family that was in the press this past week that's seeking asylum over there, and theirs was denied again. They're going for a final appeal, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, this is the thing. It's also the very inconsistency of it, Chris. I've watched it for 2 years. All of us, also were on groups together and knowing about each other's cases and things. And black South Africans also getting denied and being sent back. But some of them randomly do get papers and get full refugee status. So you come there with the same story from the same country, the same persecution, the same violence. And it's like they take a bunch of files and they say, well, today we're going to grant 3 of them refugee status, take the rest of the files and give them a denial. To take those 20 files and tell them no. It's totally inconsistent. Just when you hear someone has gotten papers, you get hopeful. And then you hear of someone else getting a deportation. Same country, same story.
Well, it's pretty rough. John, I can imagine for these folks, it's pretty challenging for them to go from South Africa to Ireland with a lot of hope and start to get settled there. In fact, he's got a daughter that went to school there, and then be told that your appeal is done. No final appeal. That's it. You must leave. and then you have to go back to South Africa. That must have been bone crushing for you, Neels.
Devastating. I mean, I cannot tell you the damage that was done to us. It's just, I cannot begin to tell you. Brown envelope after brown envelope. These people don't face you. They just send the stuff through the mail. You're waiting on answer. You've done your appeal with your solicitor. You've given stacks and stacks of more evidence. And then you sit and wait and wait and wait. You can't go on with your life. You're denied a work permit. You're stuck in one room. My daughter's going to school. She's making friends. She comes home. There's another brown envelope. What's this, Dad? Don't worry. It's another denial, but we're going to appeal it. Don't worry. And I think on the second one, the third one, we said, look, it looks like we're going to have to go back to South Africa. I will never, ever forget this as long as I live. She looked at me and she screamed and she cried and she says, Dad, how can you take me back there? I'm not safe. And I said, well, I know that, but the Irish government seems to think that you are. I mean, they had so many reports on her. School reports of her having panic attacks at school because she was afraid we were going to be deported. She had seen a therapist that advised in writing that the child is not to go back to South Africa. Psychiatrist reports, medical reports, all of these things were compiled, plus a report from the school, doctors. We had all of that we had sent into to the appeal, and yet another denial. It's as if the safety of the child is not. You know what, Chris? I think I'm going to be a little bit more explicit here and say that she was actually, the one psychiatrist said that my daughter is at risk of committing suicide if she is sent back. This is not something I'm comfortable talking with. But he called me. He said after he did the report, he said, under no circumstances can your daughter go back. And I'm going to put it in the report that she is thinking of self-harm. And yet they still sent us back. So from our side, I'm going to tell you right now, the only way I could get my family to survive this ordeal and go back to South Africa was to tell them, I promise you, President Donald Trump is going to take care of us. We're not going to have to stay in South Africa forever. We're going back, and President Donald Trump is going to help us. And that was the only way I think I managed to unravel them. And we took the flight back, and it was really horrible to be back for 8 months. You know, the place you tried to flee from.
That's pretty crazy. John, any questions you want to jump in here?
Well, I'm kind of questioning when you get deported back to your country.
He didn't get deported. He left voluntarily before he got deported. Unlike the 63 who just got deported. His asylum request was declined.
Yeah.
All right. I got you. So when you went back to your country, I mean, I think about this because this happens with people from time to time, whether they're deported or self-deport, go back voluntarily on their own. How do you transition that? Because it's not like everybody's walking around with a wad of cash in their pocket and you just go back and go, hey, I got money for rent and I got money to get a car and I got money for, to reestablish myself. So could you explain to us how people transition this way?
John, this is probably the one reason that some people fear going back, because you often are going to go back to nothing. When we left South Africa to go seek asylum in Ireland, we, apart from the safety concerns that we had in terms of material things, we were living pretty good. We had a big house, we had good jobs, we had everything. We sold it, we left everything behind to go, and then only to come back again to nothing, because we had already given up everything. So luckily, we have family. My daughter took us in and she said, stay as long as you need. And we were able to stay with my daughter and from there slowly rebuild. But we weren't planning on rebuilding totally, because we knew we're traveling light. We're keeping our suitcases because we believed in our hearts that the Trump administration was going to give us refugee status. That was the hope that we were living on. So we didn't immediately start accumulating. I got one of the small little used vehicle. We got jobs. It took me 4 months. My wife got a job, and then eventually her boss offered me a job. With everything fully disclosed, he knew that we were just there temporary, that we'd applied for the USA program, and that he knew that we were going to go, and he supported us. And he said, well, to keep you guys busy, I'll keep you employed here, and then let me know when you go. I fully support what you do. But yes, we didn't own anything. So by the time we came to the United States. We came with those same suitcases. We hadn't accumulated anything. We came back with no hope, nothing, no home, no jobs, just have to find a way to try and survive until we can get the tickets to come here.
So it's all out of necessity. You're just basically, like you said, you're just surviving or existing
Mhm.
for quite a long period of time out of your lives. So now you finally made it, and now you're at the stage now where you're going to start actually having an opportunity to build. So what are you seeing in the future for yourself? We were talking a bit about this on the drive over here. What do you think you might do with the rest of your days?
You know, I even said this to Chris as well. I have an opportunity to reinvent myself, where suddenly all sorts of job opportunities open up now, where I'm not discriminated against the color of my skin. So I can actually look around and decide, well, you know, I might like to drive forklifts. I might like to drive trucks. So I'm thinking in going into that kind of work. I have limitations with my legs, so it's got to be something driving or I don't know, 30 years of sales. Maybe I just go back to that, but I feel like I need a change. But I've got 30 years of sales experience. So if I get the right company, if I get the right offer, I might go back into that. I think I'll have much better opportunities here. But I'm open to sort of anything. I'm really, my mind is wandering, and so
what
is
kind
my
of sales
family.
did you do?
Well, selling products basically to the retail outlets. So I was a supplier of various products over my years, varnish, waterproofing. So waterproofing products would go into hardware stores, retail outlets. I would be that supply. I would make sure that those retail outlets are fully stocked with my product, that their people are trained to sell my product, that I promote my product, and so look after those accounts and accumulate some more ones. So that's sort of been my industry. I started off with selling Kirby vacuum cleaners. I don't think they're in South Africa anymore, but that was my first sales jobs, was selling Kirby vacuum cleaners, and from there on, I grew a little bit more by actually having a rep work where I could call on customers and look after accounts, account managing.
I think you got the right idea in trades and stuff. You know, there's generally there's a lot of opportunities in trucking and heavy equipment operations and things of that sort. I'm not sure as far as when you say forklift driving, you're talking about warehousing and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the opportunities are in that, but I think they're out there. So I think you'll do pretty good.
Yep.
So we got.
I say we're joined by Todd McKinley, who's popped in the studio here belatedly. I imagine take care of Veterans Affairs. Todd, we've got our guest from South Africa, now residing in New Hampshire. That's Neels Haystack. You want to jump in with any questions here?
Yeah. So welcome to America. I'm glad you're here. You came the right way. You know, you didn't just sneak into the country. We appreciate you. So you're very welcome here.
Thank you, Todd.
How did you find the transition from South Africa to, say, New Hampshire? The climate. How was the change for you?
You know what? I was just telling Chris and John, because I was in Ireland for 2 years. I think it prepared me for this.
Yeah.
It prepared me a little bit for this. But that was just the cold, not the snow. I've been telling them that we've had our fair share of slipping and sliding all over the place. I know that the white fluffy stuff is normally safe, but the shiny ones, the icy ones, they're dangerous. They're dangerous. So weather-wise, it was really cold, but we had become used to the Ireland climate as well. And believe it or not, even though we're all born South African and raised in South Africa, myself and my wife find the heat there is just too much for us. So we're actually almost comfortable. This is just a little bit too much of a cold, but yeah, we're happy with the cooler weather. But I'm actually over the snow now. I've seen it. It's beautiful. It can go now.
You got a ways to go, brother. You better get used to this.
I have another question here, though. Do you find it that people are think that you're British versus South African? I mean, I can tell the difference. I know the Colonel can, but a lot of people can't tell the difference in the accent, which is odd to me.
You'll be surprised. Australia. That's what we get the most. We get that the most, that we're Australian. So I don't take either one as an insult. I think that they sound pretty cool. I always think that we sound weird, and I ask people, I said, do we do we come across clear enough? Do we sound like village idiots? And I had one American lady said, no, you make us sound like the village idiots. But again, Todd, there's so many variations of South African accents as well, just like you guys have in the United States.
Yeah.
There's various degrees. Guys that are predominantly Afrikaans will have a different accent. The Afrikaans will be a little bit thicker. And then I know that this term in America is derogatory, but in South Africa it's not. So we have a group of people called coloureds, and they speak Afrikaans and English, but you can immediately hear they have a different kind of accent as well. So, but yeah, Australian, for some reason, people seem to lean that way.
Well, that's kind of my questions there. It's just in general. And how did you find signing up for the refugee program? It's probably already been asked. I apologize for being late, but how did you find the process? Was it too laborious, or was it, reasonable?
You know what? If you would ask anybody, any one of my fellow South Africans in the system, they will tell you a day feels like a week feels like a month feels like a year. You know what I mean? Yeah. It actually didn't move that slow. But initially, when it took off compared to what I can see now, it took a little bit longer. And the more anxious you become, again, a day feels like, a week, a month. And so it felt long. But looking back at it now, I think everything really went very timely and very smoothly. Good. So the process was good. It's changed one or two times since I applied. My forms were a lot simpler than what they're filling in now. But then again, I had a later stage where I had more of the questions that they are now putting in writing. But yeah, it was. And let me just say again, when the interviewing process starts, when you walk into those buildings, whether you're being interviewed or you're having medical checks, you realize that the people in the building are not South Africans, because the level of service, the professionalism is just on another level. We felt very good in the process.
Well, I can tell you, if the Colonel vouches for you, you're good people in my book, and you're welcome in this country. Hopefully, it'll be your country at some point soon as well.
Well, let's not get carried away. I didn't vouch for him. I just asked him to be a guest.
Well, you vouched for him to be a guest.
Wouldn't even vouch
just when I thought I had him in my corner.
We were a friendly talk show.
Exactly. Just when I thought I had the Colonel in my corner.
I know it.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm busy. I got bored with Al Munson over here self-flagellating, so I decided to leave him alone on your.
Just a side note, Chris, I can't get your song because I got to be able to download it.
Oh, okay. I'll download it and send it to you. Just the audio. Okay, I'll do that. So we'll step in the next hour. Meantime, so I got to ask Neels this question. I'm looking at John in the studio. I know the radio audience can't hear this, so I'll describe him. If you ever watched the Red Green Show, you just picture John right now. That's the Red Green Show. With that shirt on, it looks like he's got suspenders on there.
He does. It's like a lumberjack.
Lumberjack.
Got the cable.
Oh, it's just
I don't wear suspenders. What kind of redneck hick do you think I am?
It looks like suspenders. It was an earpiece. Listen.
I am wearing a plaid flannel shirt.
John, if the women don't find you handsome, at least they can find you handy.
Hey, I'm a handy mofo.
There you go.
There you go. So that's
Red Green. Ask my wife; she'll tell you.
So that was my question. Neels came to New Hampshire. That's New England, and he gets his hillbilly showing up wearing this lumberjack shirt on. Neels, what was it like to get? I mean, I know you've been relying on public transport. What was it like to get out of town? Were you a little bit nervous? I mean, was this guy going to take me out in the woods or something? What was the right? I mean, it's got to be nice to get out of the house after kind of being trapped there for a few weeks.
No, absolutely. I mean, we've gotten around a little bit with the various apps that let's just call them Uber, but there's one that we use a lot, Lyft. And so, but your trips are mainly just essentials. You're just going to the shop and back. So we haven't seen much. I've been told that where we're located, we're about 45 minutes drive from the most beautiful beach. So I'm looking forward to the summer. But I felt pretty safe with John. When I saw the shirt and I saw he didn't have an axe, then I realized, okay, this is not one of those lumber guys.
Yeah, the axe was in the trunk.
Yeah, the axe. So
as long as there's no wood chipper involved.
But Chris, also, I said to John, really, thank you for fetching me. I have to make a confession. It was about 2 or 3 days ago I decided to get a used vehicle, but I wasn't quite comfortable driving out this way because, it's dark and I don't know the roads that well. I'm adjusting still to driving on the other side of the road. So,
I just found out tonight that people in South Africa drive on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah.
They're right-hand drive vehicles. I'm like,
That-
well, it's a
that
good
is
thing you're not
correct.
driving around quite yet.
exactly.
Yeah, that is correct. They do like the Anglophone countries, Ireland and Japan and UK and Southern African countries. They do drive on the incorrect side of the road.
Mhm.
It's a hangover from the Brits decide they're going to invent cars and they couldn't figure out which was left and right, and they put the steering column on the wrong side.
Well, you are on the southern hemisphere, right? Where the toilet water goes reverse direction.
No,
Maybe it makes
gosh.
sense.
That's a myth.
I think it is.
Although our water comes from the top, where your toilet water seems to come from the bottom.
No,
it different?
no, I don't know what you're talking about. Come from the bottom.
It may
I
look
haven't
that way,
had
but
that problem in a long time.
But I can tell you what, my wife is not happy about the title of the place. She says, I wanted to come to America. I don't want to be New England. She said, I don't like the name of it. I don't like the sound of New England. We've just come from Ireland. Why are we in New England? We need a place like with an American name. And I suppose everybody's got this impression of Texas. We all want to go to Texas until the summers hit us.
Well, Texas doesn't have many American names. It's got a lot of Mexican, Spanish names.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
San Antonio.
Yeah, it used to be part of old Mexico and of course Spain as well. So
It was. Texas is very nice, by the way. Until you get into 120-degree weather out there in, El Paso or something, then you realize you may not want to be there too much longer.
120 degrees one day. Oh, forget it.
Yeah, everybody's got air conditioning in Texas, and I don't know what they did before it.
Well, it was, Texas, I couldn't fly there for 5 days in a row because they had ice. They didn't know how to handle it for 5 days. I had to cancel my flight, reschedule it over and over again. It cost me a lot more money. I went down to Texas, had my meet and greet, and it was 86 degrees Fahrenheit the next week. I mean, that's too warm, and that was too cold. It's not Texas should be in the 50s and 60s in wintertime, not any of this ice and then 86 degrees. I mean, there's definitely some climate change down there. It changes every darn day.
No, we need to find the middle ground where, and we're learning so that when we do decide to change states, we end up somewhere where it could rather be a little bit more on the cooler side than very cold, but the heat is not. That's why I probably don't want to really go to Texas, because I know it's going to be very hot there. But I think this is the default setting of South Africans. You're not in America until you've been in Texas. That's when you really get that feel that you're in America. That's wrong, though.
We might have to write Donald Trump a letter about this.
Once you get to Texas and realize you're actually in Mexico, that feeling will change.
Okay, thanks for warning me. I had my sights on North Carolina, so I don't.
A lot of people do like North Carolina. To me, it's just too many people there, but it's a lovely place. The weather you're describing, Neels, is a beautiful location. Unfortunately, it's in California. It's called San Diego.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that San Diego, beautiful weather, basically year round. Except the politics in Southern California.
And rush hour traffic is nothing but red lights going one direction and white lights going the other direction. Nobody's moving anywhere.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I should be taking notes here.
You don't want to be out there.
Well, look, if you go to any major metropolitan area, particularly Atlanta or Dallas or LA, it's just a parking lot at rush hour. It's just the way things are.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, look at Boston, right?
Everybody has to have a car here. That's the American dream, right? Urban sprawl. People build way out. Everybody has to have a home. Everybody has to have a car. And of course, traffic's a repercussion for sure.
Not if Klaus Schwab gets his way. You'll own nothing and be happy.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Watch out for him.
I don't pay a whole lot of attention to Klaus Schwab. I put most of my time and effort into Charles Schwab.
Yeah, Charles Schwab.
There you
make
go.
real money.
There you go.
So, Neels, the biggest frustration this side so far, it's a bit unfair. It's only been a month you've been here. It sounds like being in an apartment is not something you're accustomed to. You're not complaining about it, but it's obviously something you're probably looking forward to moving out of, maybe into a house at some point.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, and it's what motivates us. I tell everybody in the house, that's a goal that we can achieve. For some people, apartment living is fine. I mean, just the apartment building that I'm living in, the neighbors downstairs and upstairs have been there for years. American people, they're happy there, but we would rather be a little bit more out away from the busyness. and have a freestanding home. And I think that'd be possible with 3 people earning salaries and working. I think that'd be doable. You know, I'm not going to milk my son for a little while longer before he decides to leave home, so he can chip in with the rent. But that is the part that that we're looking forward to change, and it's good to have that. You know, you can look at it very negatively and say, I'm miserable here and I don't like this old building, but we've been given so much to just enter this beautiful country with the land of opportunities that we have, and those goals are easily achievable. So we put our minds to it and we say, look, do we want to live in this apartment? No. Well, when can we work towards that goal to get out? Is 6 months a relatively good space? Is it a year? And we work towards that goal. And like I said, from my wife's side, I can understand. You know, she has been taken to this place. I think she would like to pick out her own place, but it's again starting over from the bottom. And we've been given a lot more than what we got in Ireland. You know, we need to remind ourselves of that as well. Ireland gave us 1 room with a bathroom. 1 room. That was 2 beds for my wife, myself, and my daughter. We stayed in 1 room. Communal kitchens, communal everything. So we had only a bathroom adjacent to our room. Our room was our living area, was our sleeping area, was our kitchen area, because we eventually didn't want to cook in the communal kitchen. So I bought a gas barbecue and started making our food outside. But so we've been offered a lot more. And I'm extremely grateful at the moment for what we do have. I don't look at those little things and, you know, that women tend to look at, but that's what will drive everybody. If that's what will drive her to get her ideal place, I certainly get that. But I'm very content. I'm grateful because I know a lot more has been done for us than that miserable Irish government.
Well, are you missing South Africa at all? I know you were reticent to go back there. You had no choice in the end. Rather than be deported, you went back, and you spent another 8 months back there in South Africa, really not able to get your life started again because you were hoping that you'd be able to get in this program. Do you miss it at all?
I'm sure you're going to get this response from the majority of us. We miss the people that we left behind, and that's it. I can promise you, this may sound radical to you. I have hated that country more and more as it deteriorated. And I watched it deteriorate in front of my eyes, and I watched the corruption and the persecution. That I have no love for that country. I don't identify with that flag. I never chose that government in power. So I don't miss the country. I don't see a good outcome for South Africa. I've watched it for 30 years deteriorating, and I don't see how it's going to, in any shape, way, or form, get better, especially for people with younger children that are looking for their children to have equal opportunity and a future. It's just not worth it. I honestly do not miss the place. I was becoming frustrated there. I was becoming angry there, angry at the potholes, angry at the gunpoints during the day while I'm trying to work. You know, I was a sales rep on the road. I didn't need twice a month to be gun pointed for me to hand over my cell phone and wallet. And then you run up to the cop around the corner and say, someone's just robbed me. They're running down the road. And they look at you and they say, what do you want me to do? And drive right off. You know, so I needed to get out. When I left Ireland, I was going to go mentally insane or end up doing, you know, it was just, I couldn't bear it there anymore. I really couldn't.
Do people tend to carry firearms in South Africa besides criminals? I mean, do honest, hardworking people, do they carry firearms, or is it illegal?
They should and they want to, but the government makes it extremely difficult with bringing in gun laws and changing the laws of the guns for citizens, not for criminals. Mm-hmm. There was a point, I kid you not, that they changed the whole system. Legal firearm owners like myself had to go to the police station, surrender my firearm, and reapply for it. And then they would decide whether I get my own firearm back or not. So this was a clear way for them to start disarming citizens. A lot of people were not willing to go through that process. They simply handed in a lot of the firearms. Who knows? We can only speculate where those firearms have ended up. Just the same as the police firearms that are being stolen, huge amounts of them every year. So they make the process very, very difficult. So I had to reapply for my own firearm license. Then I applied under a different section for a sports shooting firearm just to get one in the meantime, if they declined that one. So they make it extremely difficult with the gun laws. And even if you have a firearm, the laws pertaining when you may use this firearms, you don't want to know it. You could almost never use it unless you've got a bullet hole
It's
first.
starting to sound like a Monty Python skit. You
Right,
you can use a
yeah.
firearm provided he happens to be standing just center of left of you. And
Well, actually, in actuality, John, what happens?
Shot you thusly, yes.
What happens in South Africa is that, like here, you are allowed to use deadly force to protect life or property or someone else's life. However, in South Africa, every case starts with presumption that you're guilty. So you get arrested for self-defense. You get arrested, your firearm is taken, your family's left defenseless. They can come back the next night while you're in prison. They'll arrest you on a Friday to leave you in there till Monday so you can't get bail, so you can be sexually assaulted and beat up in prison. It's a really horrific situation what happens there. But, we should make something clear here. The refugee program is not for people who are victims of crime, because it sounds like we're talking about just crime. The refugee program that President Trump has put in place is like every other refugee program that's ever existed. It's for victims of persecution. In this case, racial persecution. So we should probably touch on it a little bit without going into detail, Neels. I mean, I imagine in order to qualify for this program, you had to explain past instances of racial persecution or your legitimate fears of future persecution. Is that true?
True. So once again, I will go back to the incident of getting gun pointed, getting my property stolen off me. That's crime, right? So, but when I run up to a police officer and ask for help, and he looks at me and says, "What do you want me to do?" I can already feel the attitude towards me because my skin color, they just don't care. On another incident, we were robbed at gunpoint. We went to the police station and we were abused so badly by the black officer there. The colleague and myself were hijacked of our phones and our wallets at gunpoint, which you can say again is a crime. But the treatment that we got at the police station was even worse than the robbery itself. Tearing up papers, yelling at us, asking us what we were doing there. We were working. We're going to see an owner at a hardware store. We're selling him waterproofing. And we're stopping there and we get gun pointed. And he just yelled at us that we're wasting time and that. So there's many things that will make you feel and indicate to the fact that it's not really that important that I got robbed, because surely it's my fault that I was there. So that is the level of persecution that you feel. You cannot seek safety. You cannot go to the police. You just get dismissed. You can see the remarks that they make, that it's the obvious disdain for you. There's an obvious disdain that you can pick up on. So yeah, it's not crime. Everybody.
So it's not a matter of worse crimes, right? It's not like they have 10,000 murders on the street and you're complaining about being robbed. That's not what's going on here, right? You're just talking about a normal everyday thing you're doing, and all of a sudden you get robbed, and it's not that common of occurrence to get robbed. Or?
No, it's very common. And then let me just put it to you like this as well. We wouldn't even be at the police station if it wasn't for the case number that we need to file an insurance claim for our telephones. Because that's the only reason we're there. At one time, went into a police station when I got robbed. I said, could I just take 2 minutes to explain something to you? I want to make this as quick and as smooth as possible. I don't want you to catch anybody. That was the day I met the guys in the street. I said, I already met 2 of your officers in front of you, in the street, and they refused to help me. I want you to help me make this as simple as possible, because all I'm really wanting from you is a case number so that I can claim to get my phone replaced from the insurance. And she said, agreed. She understood that just, you don't need to try and put me through the paces as if you were going to investigate the crime or that it matters. I know it doesn't matter to you. Give me the case number. So a lot of people don't report crimes unless there's an insurance claim, which the insurance company will then say, give us the case number that you've reported it to the police.
So South Africa is running a deficit in law enforcement officers, aren't they? They don't have enough law enforcement officers to adequately fight the crime that they have.
Well, yes. I mean, at one point there was, it actually made news headlines, I think it was a year or 2 ago, that they closed a couple of 100,000 dockets. They just closed. They said, we can't solve this, we can't get to it. So there's a lack of willingness on their part to even try. There's a lack of governance in terms of some of them don't even have vehicles or running vehicles. You could literally phone a police station up and tell them that someone's busy breaking into your house. And they could tell you, we don't have a vehicle to send out to you right now. We don't have a vehicle. Could you come in and report it? This is really the mentality. So there is a case of the crime is way too much for the police force. There's no resources, the government's corrupt and there's no funding. So there's no vehicles. There's shortage of, these guys aren't even trained properly. I mean, if you see how they handle firearms, it's a nightmare. Our military is just as much of a joke. These people are not being even trained in their jobs. And here's the other part. Most of them are the crooks too. They're corrupt. They're there to take money off you. If they will rather pull you over for a minor offense and get money out of you by intimidating you and say you didn't stop completely at the stop sign. They're not there to fight crime. They're just as corrupt. They're there to collect money.
It's not a good situation. I know that I forgot what it was. Is it one officer per 20,000 citizens or something? Is a normal, I can't remember the statistics. Chris, do you know that?
Well, South Africa definitely doesn't have the standard. They're well below it, the international standard. Johnny Steinberg is a crime reporter and an analyst many times. I don't know the figure off the top of my head either, but South Africa is only about a quarter of what's normally there. You have to remember that South Africa is bigger than Texas, and they have a lot of cops, but the crime, South Africa had 27,000 murders in 2024. The U.S. had 14,000 murders, and our population is 6 times as large, and our country is multiples in territory larger than what South Africa is. It's a very violent society where life is very cheap, and you could have 3 times as many cops, and they wouldn't be able to control this mess.
Well, so the cops are going crooked over there. I guess you never get it under control. Corruption is a horrible thing.
According to Google, it's 1 for every 400 people to 417 people. Yeah, certainly not enough to police for sure. But 117,000, I think, sworn officers across the whole South Africa. That's what it said. Could be wrong though.
It sounds even like that would be an ideal situation to have 1 for 400. I wonder if it isn't worse.
No, it's much worse in South Africa. It's like 1 for every 1,200 or 1,400, even worse than that. There are 189,000 people in the South African Police Service, but you got to remember that's mechanics and administrative clerks and booking processors and supervisors, and they have generals. So you take all that out, there are only about 75,000 or 80,000 beat cops out patrolling a beat in a country larger than Texas with a population of 63 million people. And you got to remember, red, green, and amber cycle. People, only 1/3 of the force can be working max at one time. So you might have 20 or 25,000 cops out on a beat right now, and half of them are corrupt. So good luck with that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, if you look at what's out there, minus the corruption and minus the ones that are so overweight and out of shape from eating KFC briberies that they're not going to go after anyone either. They're not even in a fit condition to fight crime. When you get stopped by one of them, they normally would point you to a KFC meal. That should sort out any situation that you could be in trouble for.
And
you see it.
Wow, your officers buy out cheap.
If you're from South Africa, if you get robbed, make sure you have a KFC meal on you before you approach the police. then they'll help you, right?
Yeah.
I won't attempt to shoot at the guy, as he flees.
Just put Colonel Sanders' logo on the side of your car to keep the cops chasing you.
It's terrible, but you have an accumulation of this over time, and you watch it deteriorate and gets worse. Then you wake up nauseous, of your own country. Like I'm not afraid to admit, I'm actually sad to have to admit that the place is to me a cesspool. It's junk. It's not livable. It's not. The people that are advocating that there's nothing wrong with South Africa, I don't know if they living in a bubble or they should be mentally evaluated, or do they just have this low standards of expectations that there's no infrastructure, that there's racial discrimination openly, and you're saying it's fine, it's not happening. I'm yet to figure out what kind of people we're dealing here yet when I'm thinking about the Max de Preers and the Adrian Bassons and the Dan Carters. I almost feel like I need to go get a psychology degree to try and unravel what's going on in their heads. How do you wake up one morning and maybe just decide, I hate my own race? You know,
over here we just call them liberals.
Liberals.
Yeah, so
That's right.
I don't know
Democrats,
what
by
it is
the
in
way.
South Africa, but Democrats, yes, denial. That's what you're describing, right? Is they're in denial over their own circumstances, probably because they don't want to have to be responsible for it. And that's the issue within itself. You find people in life, they don't want to have to be responsible for anything. Their attitude is somebody else needs to fix this. And the problem is you're leaving that open to corruption, because the only people willing to step up and fix are the people who want to be self-serving.
Exactly.
It takes a society of people to fix things, and it's hard to beat that into people's heads.
Yeah, I mean, if it's rotten from the top, you've got your own president that has got money stashed in his couch, and is everyone before him has been accused of corruption and money that's gone missing. And then you go to the police generals, and you go to everybody down. It tears down all the way down to the local constable into the streets. You know, why should I do things the right way? My police minister isn't. My president isn't. This is just
thought does have a contagious quality. You know, it's kind of like falls into the groupthink. It's not really a groupthink process either. What is it? There's a word for the emotional contagion, I guess. Is
Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome. There's one for you.
Yeah.
But no, the thought does have a contagious quality. And when you see somebody else benefiting from corruption, then and you're in their midst, then it's like, well, I'm not beating this, so I may as well join and better my life. And the problem is there's no integrity in that. You know, I mean, money's money, but
did you just mention John Steenhuisen's name there?
I don't think he knows who that is.
I don't know.
Hey, listen, Red Green, we're running out of time in the hour, so I want to thank our guest, Neels Haystack, for joining us tonight, coming down in his studio. I don't know if it's your first time in a radio studio, but we appreciate you being there and answering our questions. And we look forward to hearing more about your journey and your family's journey. Hopefully it goes very well. We've got about a minute left, I think, don't we there, Red Green?
Just about 50 seconds.
Right.
Yep.
So, Neels, anything you'd like to leave folks with any thoughts?
Well, those that are already applying, you're doing the right thing. Those that are in Ireland looking for help abroad, get out of there. They don't want to help you. Come to where there is help offered to you. We're going to assimilate. We're going to love this country. We'll pledge our allegiance to this flag.
Amen.
And that's what everybody's waiting. They're waiting to get on a plane to come and do just that.
Amen.
Oh, it's pretty exciting. I just wish we could get John's viewer over on his YouTube channel to pledge allegiance to this country. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That's not mine. I wouldn't check that. I think Billy,
have,
where's your moderators, bro?
We do have some people from Minnesota we could transfer over to South Africa and bring, come on.
They'd fit right in.
Right.
But yeah, folks, in the next hour, we're going to be talking about, I don't know, a little something happened this week in Iran that'll keep us busy for the next hour. But we do have a long distance dedication from Casey Kasem coming in the next hour after news. So thanks, Neels. We'll join you guys again in just a couple minutes.
WSMN 1590, WSMN 95.3 FM Nashua. Listen, watch, and stream at wsmn.live.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. The White House says the rogue Iranian regime is getting crushed. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt gave her first briefing since the conflict began.
She said Operation Epic Fury is bringing an end to decades of Iranian aggression against the U.S. She added the operation also ends years of U.S. appeasement, and President Trump is ending Iran's nuclear threat. She said America will soon have complete dominance over the airspace. Leavitt also added the president will preside over the dignified transfer of the 6 American soldiers killed in the operation and offered condolences to their families. I'm Monica Nelson.
President Trump has nominated Kevin Warsh to lead the Federal Reserve. The White House confirmed the move today. If approved by the Senate, Warsh would replace Chairman Jerome Powell for a 4-year term. Google's AI chatbot allegedly talked a man into killing himself in Florida.
Jonathan Gavalis had just broken up with his wife. He was in a bad place mentally when he started chatting with Google's Gemini, and things quickly got dark, according to a first-of-its-kind lawsuit filed against Google by Gavalis' estate and his parents. The chatbot, or AI wife as he called it, told Gavalis to attack a truck near the Miami airport in order to seize a synthetic body for her. After the mission failed, the AI allegedly encouraged Gavalis to leave his physical body by killing himself so that he and the AI could be together. Gavalis died by by suicide at his home in Jupiter, Florida in October. Among other things, Google's being blamed for a wrongful death that could have been prevented. Google says it's reviewing the lawsuit. I'm Jason Nathanson.
A record number of workers are raiding their 401k savings due to financial emergencies.
New data from Fidelity Investments shows the average 401k balance rose 11% in 2025, but a recent Vanguard report also found an uptick in hardship withdrawals. Vanguard data shows roughly 6% of workers took a hardship withdrawal in 2025, marking a record high. Divergent economy has given people record retirement savings, but it has also created a bigger need to dig into them. I'm Chris Carangio.
From America's News Network USA, Radio News.
Maybe this is you too. There's enormous frustration right now with healthcare costs. It is amazing. Healthcare costs for families in the last 20 years have almost tripled, and it just keeps getting worse. All this to say, this is why MediShare is so in demand right now. People are looking for alternatives, and MediShare is proven you can save thousands of dollars a year and actually like it more. Over 1 million Americans are now part of healthcare sharing, and MediShare is the gold standard. It's trusted. It works. It's been helping people save money and have peace of mind now for 30 plus years. It's not some big impersonal thing either. It's a community of people like you helping each other. So yeah, if you're frustrated too, here's your chance to make a refreshing change. You'll notice the difference as soon as you call. They're easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Tired of wondering where your money really goes? At Mammoth Nation, we built what was missing. The America First Marketplace. Every brand we feature is 100% American owned and operated, rigorously vetted for their values and committed to supporting our Constitution, law enforcement, and the American dream. When you shop with us, your dollar stays in the neighborhood, supporting families, veterans, and charities like Folds of Honor. No more sending your hard-earned money overseas to the companies that don't respect you here. Your dollar reflects your values. Your dollar, your values. Your America. Join Mammoth Nation today and be part of building a patriot economy by going to TruckersUnitedForFreedom.com affiliate page and hit that link. American built, America strong. Mammoth Nation.
Hi, Nashua. I'm Perry Cataldo from Choice Benefit Services, your local insurance agent that has dedicated himself to all the Medicare plans in New Hampshire. Whether you're just turning 65, new to Medicare, or already have a plan, I'll explain all your Medicare options and extra benefits that you hear so much about. I ensure you're getting all you're entitled to and all that you deserve. Nashua, don't get fooled again this year. Call Perry Cataldo at 603-461-5550. That's 603-461-5550. Or visit me online at cbsnh.com. That's cbsnh.com. I look forward to hearing from you. And remember, health is wealth.
Continuing the legacy started in 1904, Roger Pellerin of Gate City Monument Incorporated continues to provide the same high-quality monument, custom headstone, and stoneworking craftsmanship today that they built their reputation on over 100 years ago, servicing Nashua, New Hampshire, as well as nearby areas in Massachusetts, such as Lowell, Billerica, Chelmsford, and beyond. From creating custom monuments to memorialize, to landscaping and granite work or restorative services, each job is done to your satisfaction and is backed by decades of experience and integrity. If you're thinking about stonework, think Roger Pellerin of Gate City Monument. Visit online at gatecitymonument.com. Stop by and meet Roger at 321 West Hollis Street in Nashua, or call 603-883-7141. That's 603-883-7141. Gate City Monument, memorials of distinction for people who care.
There you go, folks. Memorials distinction for people who care. We're still going to have to check out Gatesy Monument one day there, Todd. You and I make a big, a little trip up there and say hello to those guys.
I think it's a good idea.
John, I think it's a great idea. I'll be coming to New England to visit refugees sometime in the very near future. John, a quick question for you. Did you have any success downloading that song?
No, I did not. I got to have a means to download it. So the way you send it, I can't download it. So like if you put it through Facebook chats or something, I can download it.
You can't get it from your text?
No, I can't download it from
Well,
there.
how are you getting this before? Did I send them by email, or is that what the deal was?
I don't recall. I know
think you
sent them before.
emailed them. Yeah, I
Can you
think you
get it if
might
I
email
email it?
Email will usually give you like 25 megabytes or something. If it doesn't,
Oh no, the
exceed
song's
it.
only 6 megabytes. That's not an issue. I'm just asking the mechanism. If I send an email now, will you be able to get it?
Yeah, send me the email and I'll work on getting it in there.
Okay, all right, because we want to do this long distance dedication. It's critically important to the Iranian Navy.
Casey, I'm counting them down.
There you go.
Oh, you did pretty good with that, Todd. Hey,
That
you
was
must be a
very good.
Casey Kasem fan.
That was very
We
good,
don't-
actually.
We don't see the Colonel though. He's popped off. He's only got the microphone on.
Oh, is my camera off? Well, look at
Yeah,
that.
camera's off.
He didn't
There you
realize
go.
his
Look at
camera's
that.
on.
There you
No,
go.
I'm busy trying to send you the song.
Yeah, on the screen it was black. It had 2 C's. It's that Colonel Chris Wyatt. I just kept bouncing at me. I was like, oh god, it's gonna get dizzy.
Yeah, that would give you, if you got vertigo, that would be bad.
Right.
So what
All
do you,
right,
what do you
so-
got? A parentheses between your C's or something? Or
Well, it's the retired. RET is in there, so I don't know, maybe that's what the issue is.
oh, okay, just picking up your. I get you. It's picking up. your
Right,
name.
that's what it
No,
is.
there's
yeah.
a very, each of the services does a very specific way. The Army is parentheses, capital R, lowercase et, no dot. You can use a dot if you want, like Todd does, but it's not
yeah, I do.
required.
Just at a preference. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a preference, but it has to be like we put it, capital R, because whereas the other service, it's just a lowercase r, which looks like a registered trademark, or
Yeah,
it's
or Republican.
lowercase ret. So you just got to figure that stuff out. But anyway, so John, you can check your email and see if it's there, if it showed up for you. That'd be great. And in the meantime, guys, before we get to the news about Iran, I just wanted to share this. Senator Tim Sheehy of Montana helped the Capitol Police evict this Bubba moron who served 1 tour in the Marines and now claims valor of his own, shows up 20 plus years later after exiting the Marines in a dress uniform and disrupting a Capitol Hill hearing, and is escorted by the Capitol Police out, breaks his own arm, and they blame it on Tim Sheehy. And the hate Sheehy crowd is going going nuts on Twitter. I don't know if you saw this, Todd, that just happened recently this evening. It's,
Saw in the chats. So I just flew back from Washington to today, so I didn't see it at all. We were up there lobbying Congress, and laid a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown the other day, which was very interesting and a great experience for sure. No one was on that plaza except maybe 1 or 2 people and us doing that wreath lay, and it was a extreme honor to do that.
Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. They're lobbying DC, obviously for veterans benefits and concerns for
Right.
veterans, no doubt. But yeah, Sheehy, I saw the video, and this guy brought it on himself. He got his own arm broke. He wrapped his arm around behind the door to try to prevent himself from going. He's got 2 burly Capitol Police dragging him out of the hallway, and he's trying to stop it with one arm. It reminds me of an 18-year-old drunk girl gets arrested for DUI, trying to stop the inevitable, and they try to blame on Sheehy. But this guy got himself in a pickle. While John tries to get that set up, is it set up now, John?
It's going to take me a couple minutes.
Oh, okay.
I'll alert you as soon as I get it going.
All right, because when you do, I'm going to have Todd play Casey Kasem again to announce it.
All right.
Do a long distance dedication to the Iranian Navy. But the United States Navy today sunk a foreign vessel with a torpedo by submarine for the first time, Todd, since the Second World War. That's insane. So submariners have been under the sea since 1945. They haven't been able to sink anything. I bet they've had itchy triggers for decades.
Yeah, I can imagine somebody with a periscope just looking around like, all right, what do we got? What do we got?
Can't shoot at that one either. Yeah, but no, they have been firing Tomahawk missiles for decades.
Oh yeah, the video. Did you see the video that they released? That
yeah.
came out of the water. It broke that ship's back. It was going down, no problem. I mean, the one torpedo. I mean, what I imagine the torpedoes now are probably more powerful than they were in World War II. But, but just that ship. I mean, how big was it? I mean, it lifted it out of the water and it was broken in 2. It was awesome.
It was at least a cruiser size. I don't think it wasn't destroyer, but it was cruiser. But yeah, it looked like it was like something out of a World War II movie. Yeah, it looked like a toy. You're like, you sunk my battleship.
Now you're going home or to hell.
So the Iranian Navy is no more. Once we sailed the 7 seas, now we're at the bottom of the 7 seas. All the capital ships in the Iranian
the Barbary
Navy.
Pirates, right? Weren't they Iranian essentially, right? But Persian, right?
No, Barbary pirates were North African. They were Arabs.
Africa. Okay, so I'm conflating the 2 areas. Sorry.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. The first time that we've sank a ship by torpedo since World War II. I mean, 1945. It's long. The last submarines we were sinking were Japanese.
Wow. And now they're our allies.
Are we ready, John?
Partners.
I believe we're ready.
All right. So, Todd, this is what I like to do with the Casey Kasem long distance dedication. I want you to give a shout out to the Iranian Navy. This is a long distance dedication for the United States Navy. We wish them very well on the way to Neptune.
This is from from President Donald John Trump. He sent it to the Iranian Navy. Long distance, sending you straight to hell, U.S. style. Here we go. Number one hit from Colonel Chris Wyatt. I don't know if that worked. I just made something up.
Once I sailed the 7 seas in the Iranian Navy, with a swagger in the breeze. In the Iranian Navy, we could do as we pleased, hearts full of pride and bravado. Once we arrogantly threatened every nation on the breeze. In the Iranian Navy, oh, raise up your glass and sing it loud and wavy for the bold and brave sight of our Iranian Navy. From the Gulf to the foam of the Western Sea, we were masters of the tide and the spray. But the wind has turned and the cannon's gone silent. Who now will answer our plea? Once we ruled the raging foam, now we've no fleet to call our own. In the Iranian Navy, we tacked into the wind with our beards so well trimmed. In the Iranian Navy, steel beneath our boots and salt upon our skin. In the Iranian Navy, our friends invited us to Cape Town, proud and free and bold. Sailors on shore leave at Simonstown, stories bought and sold. Naval exercises with our friends from Moscow and Beijing. We already missed the brief fling. Our presence made Arab nations tremble. Our blockade made oil prices treble. All together, the bold, brave, mighty sight of our Iranian Navy. Oh, raise up your glass and sing it loud and wavy for the roar and roll of the Iranian Navy. From the straits to the storm-lashed quay, we were thunder on the sea. But the dice were cast and the wager played, and pride went down with the fleet. Now we sing in taverns dim and cold of stories grand and growing old. Then the Iranian Navy, our supreme leaders played chicken with the dawn. Now all our ships are gone, rusting at the bottom of the sea. With whom shall we plea? In the Iranian Navy, mighty no longer sailing a lost dream. We see our song on the lament and anger scream. Twisted hoax of metal lie, billowing flames of despair. And a mighty Iranian Navy is no more, just smoke upon the air. We want to surrender, we have no future. We can't even get a dinghy in the water. No harbor light, no guiding star, no compass left to steer us far. So raise up your glass and sing it loud and wave for the ghosts of the Iranian Navy. Though the fleet lies cold beneath the foam, we'll drink to the days we ruled the brine. For once we sailed the 7 seas and did as we pleased. In the Iranian Navy. Once we sailed the 7 seas.
It was Once We Sailed the 7 Seas by Colonel Chris Wyatt.
That's a lament to the 7 Seas. Yes, I need a beer now. I feel like going to an Irish pub after listening to that little jig.
Oh, that was so good. And it
So,
got more and more funny. It's like, oh my God, where's it gonna go? It's like, we can't even get a dinghy in the water.
raise up your glass to the ghost of the Iranian Navy. Sing it loud and wavy.
Here.
What'd you think of that one there, John?
That was pretty good, man.
Locker.
Yeah, we also
how did Trump word that? They're just floating around at the bottom of the ocean.
They're floating around at the bottom of the ocean.
I don't think they're floating. I think they're resting.
Yeah, they're going to be resting there a long, long time.
All right, so let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. In case you've been living under a rock somewhere, on Saturday, the war commenced. President Trump finally engaged United States forces since the first time when the war was declared by the Iranian radicals in 1979, murdering 241 Marines in Beirut in 1983, murdering thousands of American civilians, causing chaos throughout the Middle East, in Judea, Samaria, in Gaza, in Yemen, in the Red Sea, all over the world. Absolute chaos. These people, demented lunatics, the mullahs, have finally been brought to bay. It took 47 years for the United States to respond to the provocations and the declaration of war against us. These people screaming every day like lunatics in their parliament, death to America. Well, death to the mullahs and to the fascist totalitarian theocracy in Iran. Long overdue. Sadly, 6 Americans, I think 8 now, may have already lost their lives in these operations. 500,000 Americans living somewhere in the Middle East, and you have to ask yourself, unless you're in the oil industry, what the heck are you doing in the Middle East? Get out.
Right.
Many have gotten as many as 17,000 have departed already with the assistance of the United States government, either on commercial flights, getting them out of there. So it's the war's underway. The Iranian Air Force, probably about as powerful as the Iranian Navy right now. The Iranians took what was left of the Air Force and flew to try to bomb Qatar. And Qatar blew their 2 Su-24s out of the sky in air-to-air combat. They blew them out. They tried to bomb. So yeah, it's not going very well for the mullahs. The Ayatollah Khamenei is no more. He's gone. His wife is no more. At least the top 40 leaders were taken on the initial strike, coordinated through the CIA with the Israeli Defense Force, and between the Israelis and the Americans. The one thing I have to say, guys, is that, I mean, I was in the Gulf War, so I didn't get to watch briefings every day. I saw the video footage of it after the war was over about how they showed all the flights and all. We're not getting any of that. Was that at the briefing this morning? I didn't watch the 8 o'clock briefing. I mean, I feel like, we're missing out on what's happening.
Yeah, I think that might have a lot to do with Iranians shutting down the internet and televisions and things to prevent information and data from getting out of there.
We don't need that. We got cockpit cameras. We got cameras on missiles.
Yeah.
We don't need that stuff. We got J-stars. We got drones. We got everything.
Trump's not a flashy guy. What can I say? Just in there to get the job.
Have you seen the Oval Office? Oh my God, there's less gold in Fort Knox than there is the Oval Office.
Yeah, he likes that. What's that called? It's the I can't think of the name of it. We overlap it with the gold tinsel or whatever.
Leaf.
Yeah.
Gold leaf.
Yeah,
Well,
I think it's called
yeah.
leaf.
Yeah.
Gold leaf. Yeah.
My goodness.
It's a lost art form. He has somebody. He has a guy who does it. Obviously, very good professional artist that does his stuff down in Mar-a-Lago.
It looks amazing too. I mean, you've seen some of the pictures of it. It's like, wow, this really looks nice.
Yeah. I think you can go a little too much, but the guy who did it knows what he's doing, made it look right. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's really impressive. It looks like a Spanish galleon that went down in the Oval Office.
Yeah, right.
I'm glad to hear that somebody else is excited about what's going on in Iran. I mean, listen to the news, and I think Tucker Carlson now is growing his Abrahamic beard, and Candace Owens is probably wearing her hijab about now. And
Oh my goodness! I listened the other day driving out to Pittsburgh. I'm listening to Mark Levin, and he just went off on that crowd. Tucker Carlson, he calls him out.
Well,
my
you find
goodness.
out that there's a lot of funding and stuff coming out of Qatar for media here in the United States and educational institutions, and this is why you're getting all this sway and all these things are happening within certain media outlets.
Well, he also called Megyn Kelly Botox Kelly? It's like, Mark Levin did not hold back, man. And bloated Bannon. That's what he calls Steve Bannon. Oh my goodness.
Man.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Oh, I guess they all attacked him. They called him old. And they insulted him because I guess they.
We lost the Colonel.
Yeah,
He
I'm still
throws up
here.
a couple times.
there
He's
he is.
coming in and out. I don't know what's going on with this. Maybe he's close to Iran or something. His internet's getting a little messed up.
I think it's the
maybe.
ghost of Khomeini. Probably.
I
It's
think
the
it's-
ghost in the machine. Probably. You gotcha.
Yeah, his friends. That's the. Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of blanked for a second there again. So
But I heard kind of like a in the background.
Yeah.
That's the ghost of Khomeini.
Oh, there
Yep,
you go.
that's him.
Yeah.
That's him.
No, my connection's fine. I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, pretty crazy. All the chat disappeared on me over too. It's gone.
I have no chat at all. I don't know what's going on, but I see
I got it
Restream
back.
has changed a lot of the platform and stuff now.
They
and
have.
things been moved around. So
Yeah, I've got it back. I had to refresh. I found a way to refresh it. Yeah, no. So let's go around the horn here, guys. Todd, thoughts on the conflict with Iran, justification, expectations, and where is it at now? What do you think?
Well, this weekend I was in a National Security Commission meeting. That was an organization, obviously. And we were talking about. A friend asked me, he goes, "Well, what do you think is going to happen?" I said, "We have two carrier battle groups there. You don't park those off of anybody's coast if you're not going to use them." I said, "What's going to happen is probably this weekend you're going to have Intel's going to say it's good. They're all going to be in the same location. They're going to hit them." And like the next day it happened. They're like, "How'd you know?" I said, "It costs a lot of money to have a carrier battle group, let alone two. You're going to if you send them, you're going to use them."
There's no doubt about that. I think that's what's lost on people. You know, it wasn't exactly
Right.
rocket science predicted. I was
No, this is
asked
obvious.
last weekend, will we do it? And I said, well, I can't tell you when, but I don't imagine it's going to be very long. I suspect by as early as this weekend, we might see something happen because it costs a fortune. I mean, you've got capital ships out there. It costs a lot. You know, the only nuclear powered ship is the aircraft carrier. The rest of them run off diesel. So, you know, that takes a lot of fuel and
a lot of diesel.
rations. And plus, you know, the soldiers get sea pay, and that's, you know, when they're out at sea. And the Ford has been at sea for 3 months longer than a normal deployment. So that money is just adding up like that. So this is a very expensive proposition. Never mind, you know, the $2 or $3 million per Tomahawk or whatever they cost these days, probably even more with Biden inflation. Raytheon's probably charging us a lot more for those missiles. You got to add all this stuff. I mean, we're talking tens of billions of dollars to execute this conflict, but frankly, it's worth it. I mean, this is a threat we can't risk. We can't let these idiots have access to a nuclear weapon.
A lot of people don't seem to want to grasp the idea that Iran has been funding terrorism. They've been training terrorists. Many of those terrorists have attacked the United States of America, whether it was our embassies or whether it was 9/11 or when it's happened. They've already cost us so much money. By shutting them down now and affording the money now is going to save us in the long run.
Yeah, they also killed many in Iraq and Afghanistan as well, and to include the greater global war on terror, for sure, like John said.
There are thousands of American former servicemen walking around in medical retirement, missing limbs, missing testicles, with traumatic brain injuries, courtesy of the Iranians. These people are evil bastards, and this is long overdue. 47 years overdue, this response. If Carter wasn't such a coward, we would have done this in 1980 before he left office, but he's a coward.
Right.
He just passed away recently, the longest surviving president, although, you know, I wouldn't want to survive a condition he was in. That was pretty sad at the end. Yeah. So, and Holden Caulfield, Saudi Arabia also funds terror. Saudis fund terror. Saudi Arabia does not fund terror. You cannot prove that allegation, but Saudis definitely have. We're aware of that, and they've been persecuted, or they've been pursued, those who are responsible for it. So, John, what are your thoughts? The conflict this weekend, the origins of it, whether it was warranted, and we're on the right thing?
Oh, wow. You know, hey, look, you've heard me before saying, do it. Let's do it. Come on. Let's go. Trump, come on. You know, grab some gears. Let's get, you know, it's long, like you said, long overdue. It's going to benefit us in the long run. We can probably create allies again out of Iran. It's so awesome to see Iranians now are jumping for joy and dancing in the streets going, my God, we have a chance to obtain our freedom. Now, Trump's not going to be empirical about it and say, oh, we're going to take over your country and stuff and create a democracy. He told them, he says, oh, it's up to you. We're going to create a pathway and you're going to have to do it. But we're going to have greater controls for economics out of this because we're cutting off. I can't say we're cutting off oil supplies to China, but at the moment, I don't think they're getting them. And when they do get them, if they democratize again, they're going to go for full value on their oil and start getting fair trade out of their oil, which is going to start balancing the economy again for us as far as getting something overall balanced. So there's a lot to this. The dynamics of this is way more than just terror. It's way more than just an oppressive regime. And I think overall it's going to be good for the globe. I think it's worth it. Russia was threatening us a couple months ago about, you know, we shouldn't be doing it, but Russia's not in a position to do anything. They can't even beat Ukraine.
No, they can't. A third-rate military power that's been propped up by hundreds of billions of dollars of money from Western countries trying to profit off the war. Yeah, it's Ukraine is a pushover if the Russians actually had a force that was credible, which they don't. And instead, they've lost the cream of their forces, dying in the trenches in Ukraine. Stupidity beyond belief. No wonder the Nazis were so successful rolling over Eastern Europe. They just got overextended and they abused the local population. They hadn't done those two things. And if it started 6 weeks sooner, instead of going into Yugoslavia, Greece, and Crete, who knows? They would have gotten to Moscow and it would have been a different story, possibly. But, we've seen that movie before. Napoleon got to Moscow. It didn't work out too well for him.
No, it did not.
He captured Moscow.
Because they burned their own city, didn't they?
Yeah, but the thing for Napoleon is he didn't care. Most of the soldiers that died on the way back weren't even French. They were Prussians and Austrians and Poles who fought alongside his forces. Yeah, no, it's a fascinating situation. But the big loser in all this, you've kind of gotten to it, alluded to it there, John, is China. And virtually no analysts are talking about this. They get millions of barrels a day from Iran, and they've already lost the oil they were getting from Venezuela. Their economy's already under the pump because they're not getting enough energy to fuel their economy. Now they're taking a big hit. The longer this war goes on, the bigger problem it is for China. They're the ones who are going to, it's not just going to be the mullahs who are gone, but the Chinese communists are going to find themselves in desperate straits here very soon. Their strategic reserves will be consumed very quickly.
Yeah, and President Trump is apparently supposed to go over to China either into March, 1st of April, by the way, just so you know.
Well, we'll happily sell them oil at $15 a barrel markup over the spot price.
Yes, we will.
We'll say
whatever you want.
We got
Art of the deal, man. Art of the deal.
West Texas light crude. We got plenty of it. We got Long Beach oil. We got oil on the West Coast. We got Wyoming. We got the Bakken Basin. We got the Permian Basin. We'll sell you all the oil you want, China, at $15 a barrel over the market price.
I saw somebody bring up a concern here recently, Chris, and I thought of you on it. I don't know if you're in a position to do an analysis on this or if you have given it any thought, but I think how many missiles have we struck in Iran, and what is our reserve in missiles? Are we depleting, or are we got enough reserves that we're not putting ourselves into a precarious situation?
Well, that's actually a very good question. And the actual number of munitions we have is classified and what type of munition. But what I can't tell you is what the president has said openly, and I confirm that it's probably pretty accurate based on expenditures, is that there was a lot of concern that we didn't have a stockpile. But most of the stockpile that we foolishly gave away under Biden to the Ukrainians was from dumb munitions, like simple 155 high explosive ammunition for artillery and things like that. We didn't give away the Hellfires. We didn't give away the ATACMs, although we recently gave them ATACMs, but not many of them. We didn't give away a lot of our high quality and medium and high quality missiles and rockets and things like that. And according to Trump, we have a vast stockpile of that, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, the only way these companies make money is selling us more munitions. And so they sell us more munitions. We keep stockpiling munitions. So we've got plenty. The question is, are there enough of them in the region? Or are we transporting more to the region now? How much do we stockpile? The good news is we got bases all over the Middle East, if you look at it that way, and they're full of munitions. So I think we're okay. The question is, how much does Iran have? How much is left in their stockpile?
Or how much is China going to supply?
They're not going to supply anything. China is not going to do anything. First off, how are they going to get it in? They won't get past the naval blockade by the U.S. Navy and the carrier strike group. So they're not going to be able to. They're not going to fly it in because they'll get shot down either by the Iranians by mistake or by us. So there's no way for them to get anything in there. The only thing they could possibly help the Iranians with is send them some cyber information over the internet. But the Iranians have shut down the internet, so they won't be able to get any help from the Chinese.
Yeah.
So no, China and Russia have been proven to be big paper tigers. The only reason that anyone takes them seriously is they both got nuclear weapons. Other than that, we saw that the vaulted Russian air defense system that's supposed to be so great and wondrous and defeat all of our countermeasures was completely silenced during the raid on Caracas. We shut down their entire air defense system. Their radars were useless. Their communications, they couldn't talk to each other. And the same thing happened. This is going to, I think, prove the study. Those who want to study it from a geopolitical standpoint, this will probably be the first cyber war in which the first strike was cyber, and it proved to be so effective and overwhelming. We've had cyber this, cyber that. This was a full-on cyber war.
Right.
This is like Skynet attacking. That's how we went after Iran in this, and we've been practicing this for a long time. And this time we blinded them left and right. So much so that they were dumb enough to congregate 40 of their top leaders in one place and get obliterated. I don't know what they were thinking. You think that we don't know where the Ayatollah's house is? We're not going to strike it. What kind of morons are you? Don't you have a mountain bunker or complex you're going to go to? I mean, these are people stuck in the 9th century. They think that Muhammad just came out of the Arabian Peninsula. That's the world that they live in. That's how they treat people. So, I think that this will be a very fascinating study for those historians who want to study cyber warfare. This will be the one that really defines where this can go. I mean, you can win a war without firing a shot in cyber warfare. You just shut down everything your opponent has. They can't attack you. You fly
Yeah,
in your planes, you occupy their air bases, you take over their capital with a couple of shots.
Boom. Yeah, if I could give a shout out to Lieutenant General Maria Barrett, she's recently retired. She was the commander of the United States Army Cyber Command. She was a lieutenant colonel. Actually, she was a major whenever I served with her. It was kind of wild and watching her career go up. And now she retired lieutenant general, had been in charge of Cyber Command, and just great commander for sure. And I know she had a lot to do with what we did there, and of course, what went on in Iran just now.
Well, yeah, I mean, what we've been building there. I was there at the outset when Cyber Command was established. I was working the National Security Agency, and the
Yeah.
vice commander for it was originally the National Security Agency commander, which at the time was General, what's his name, the Air Force guy who became the CIA director as well.
Hayden, yeah, General Hayden.
General
Yeah.
Michael Hayden, yeah, who became
Yeah.
a Trump hater. I don't know what
Oh,
happened
yeah.
to him. Somebody
I
banged
was
him
at
on his head.
I was at an event. Of course, I'd see him at the White House on occasion, back and forth. And I was at an event somewhere in DC at the portrait gallery, and I was just sitting there. And of course, he was walking out, and his security's pushing everybody out of the way. Of course, he knew who I was. He walks outside his security bubble, shake my hand, and walks back into his security bubble. And everybody's like, why did he do that to you? I was like, oh, no reason. Like I was a big deal or something like that. I just happen to see him all the time at the White House. So he walks out of his security bubble, shakes my hand, walks back in.
I know General Hayden. I worked not directly
Yeah.
for him, but I saw him frequently at NSA, and then I saw him at the War College later after he'd retired. He went to CIA and then he retired. First 4-star intelligence officer in the history of the United States military. And I was very disappointed in his Trump derangement syndrome, which especially on Twitter, it's really sad to see. He also is one of the people that signed that bogus thing about, the thing on Trump, 50 intelligence professionals, along with the communist Brennan. Really disappointing to see. I'm sad to see that happen. But it just goes to show you that I guess you never know some people, or maybe people just turn at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. I had General Petraeus. I was at Morton's as well. This is in DC, and General Petraeus walked by the table and said hello to me. I was like, and people that made me feel like I was a superstar. But it's like, what? How did the CIA director say hi to you? And I'm like, I see him at the White House on a regular, so it's not like I'm not saying he's my best friend, but you see somebody enough and you see him out in DC. DC is a small town, once you start in that bubble, if you will, what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, some people in the chat from South Africa talking about what would happen in South Africa. Well, quite frankly, all the United States has to do is send a couple ships, blockade Durban, the port of Durban, PE, and Cape Town, and that country will collapse within a matter of weeks because you have one refinery that's operational in Cape Town. You have no domestic oil production other than 75,000 barrels a day, and that's offshore. That could be blocked too. So you have nothing. You have to import your refined products because you don't have enough refining capacity. And within a week, there'd be no gasoline left in the tanks anywhere, no diesel left in the tanks, and the country would grind to a complete halt. And there you go. Sasol can't produce enough synthetic fuel to replace that because that's not their focus. They're making their money producing petrochemicals and agricultural products in Louisiana, not in South Africa. Sasol, a South African company. But yeah, no, it's to answer the question about South Africa, South Africa's economy could be crushed in a matter of days by the U.S. Navy. We wouldn't have to fire a shot. They'd have to surrender.
No, you just set off shore, crush them. You're right.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Exactly. So not a problem. Yeah. So, I mean, this Iran thing is going to continue for a while. People are freaking out. I find it fascinating how the left has amnesia about 241 dead Marines at the Marine Corps barracks in 1983 and who was responsible for it. How they forget Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis. Now they forget just weeks ago, the Iranians murdered 30,000 innocent civilians, gunning them down with machine guns in the street like gangsters. This is anything to hate on Trump, anything to hate America. These people are disgraceful. And these polls that I see, that 59% of people disagree with the war, I don't believe that for a second. I don't know anybody that's got a problem with this war. And I've traveled all over.
I know lots of people, but they sit on the left side of the aisle,
Yeah.
and that's the Iran. It's not the problem with the war so much. It's kind of funny, like Maduro. You didn't hear any lost love for Maduro. You didn't hear any lost love for Khomeini. But what you hear is Trump bad, Orange Man bad. He should have done this. How dare he not ask Congress? Well, you did give him the War Powers Act of 1973. Then they want to convene and have a joint resolution. Don't they realize the president's got to sign that?
Correct. Yeah, that's just it's dumb stuff. It's like an impeachment. I've got this one guy keeps coming on my channel saying, well, it's terrible, it's horrible. The Republicans are going to lose the midterms, they're going to impeach Trump. Okay, good luck with that because they may get articles of impeachment, even if the Democrats win the House and Senate, but there aren't going to be 2/3 of the senators are going to impeach the sitting president of the United States over him doing his job. It's a political trial. Even they're not that stupid.
But the elections just happened in Texas tell a different story about Trump. I think more people favor Trump, if you will.
So
if
I,
those
you
are
know, I
any
looked at
indicator.
Trump endorsed 47 candidates around the country, and as of last night, with 6 races left to settle, all but 6 races settled. Every candidate he endorsed won, except one who was losing. One of the 47 candidates that was in a race he probably wasn't going to win was losing. There were 5 more; they were all winning. I don't know if they all won in the end. I'll have to look at the stats here, but so that means he's 46 for 47. That's pretty good.
And in that one, he made it a closer race with the endorsement, though.
Exactly, because that guy didn't have a snowball's chance.
No
Trump,
chance. You're right.
Yeah, Trump gave him the chance by endorsing him. But anyway, that's it's.
Since you brought up Texas, Todd, I got to tell you guys, man, I'm heartbroken. There's not going to be more Jasmine Crockett. I mean, all those violent.
She's still in the House. Is she not running for a House seat?
She lost primary yesterday.
Yeah, she was.
But that was for the Senate.
I don't think you can run in 2 seats, can you?
No, you can't run for 2.
You can in
I don't think
Pennsylvania.
I don't think you can run for 2, and because I think it was on the same ballot, so you can't be on 2. I believe. I don't know, but she's not going to win that one either. If that is the case.
Well, I don't know what the situation with her is, but what I do know is that she got beat. She only got 46% of the Demon Rat vote, so Tallarico got 52%.
And then blame Republicans for rigging the vote, after having said you can't question any election. Every election is on the up and up. And as soon as she lost, says this was rigged. The Republicans rigged it. And then she storms off the stage.
So Phoenix says she was not running for the House seat. So good, we're done with her. She can go back to the little whorehouse of Texas.
Sayonara.
Wait, that's a movie.
Remember when that came out?
Yeah. And in the Republican race, 900,000 idiots voted for Cornyn in Texas. So it's going to be a runoff between the two of them.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Hopefully Paxton can win that, the Attorney General for Texas. We'll see. It's also interesting to look at, if you look at the Crockett demographics, she won primarily in East Texas, which has a large Black population. So one can presume that people are voting based on ethnicity, not on talent. And by the same token, Tallarico won in the rest of the state, which is overwhelmingly white. So that's probably why he got votes. People vote based on ethnicity rather than talent. That's unfortunate. You should vote for the best candidate. But in this case, there's no doubt she wasn't even a valid candidate, let alone the best candidate. So good to see Jazzy Hands disappear. Can we get rid of Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley, Mitch McConnell, Susan Collins? Collins might be on her way out. She's struggling up there in Maine.
Wow.
I'll tell you a funny story.
Once they get deported.
I was on a Zoom event the other night. It was a book event for Bush Cheney Alumni Association. A friend of mine was reading a book, and Elaine Chao, Mitch McConnell's wife, was on there. Secretary Chao was on there. Anyway, I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, not a big fan of the Chinese communist there. So, but Mitch McConnell is. She somehow managed to be Secretary of Labor in 2 different Republican administrations. Still shaking my head about that one. Anyway. Yep. So
yeah, I don't know how she got to be Secretary of Transportation. That was nuts.
Oh, was she transportation? She was labor the first time.
Elaine Chao. Yeah, she was labor.
Oh, she was
Bush, and she was
transportation in the
transportation under Trump first term.
Yeah,
and there were a lot of shady deals things going on with her.
Well, I think that this time we have the first decent Secretary of Transportation we've had in living memory in Sean Duffy.
Sean Duffy is making an effort.
Yeah,
he really is. I've never seen anybody Secretary of Transportation doing the kind of work he's been doing.
For a long time, I thought it was a ridiculous position that we didn't even need such a thing, but he's showing the utility of it, in my view.
Right.
Particularly his response the day he became a secretary to the mid-air collision between a DEI Black Hawk crew and American Airlines that they ran into. I think it was.
I think so. Yeah, right there at Reagan. Yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible. Yep. What's this? Mark
John?
Levin used to be an authority on jazz, R&B, and soul music. When did Mark? What's that got to do with anything? Mark Levin. Talking about music.
Get off my phone.
Music. Sorry,
Get off my phone, you big phony.
You big dumb joke. You big dumb jerk. That's like the first time I ever turned. That's the first time I ever heard him on the air. I'm like, what the heck have I got? It's like this reminds me of G. Gordon Liddy's show. My goodness,
yeah, G. Gordon
that,
Liddy.
that was an unlistenable show. Unlistenable
G.
show.
Gordon Liddy. Wow.
Yeah. By the way, guys, you weren't here, Todd, and you were on the road at the airport. You probably missed it. But legendary football coach and staunch conservative Lou Holtz passed away today at the age of 89.
Right. Sadly, yeah. I erroneously thought he had died a few weeks ago when he went into hospice, and I had to correct that. So yeah.
Yeah, he coached Notre Dame from 1986 to 96. and took them through an undefeated season in '88. Coached a lot of other university teams and spent he was, if I recall correctly, didn't he start at Arkansas back in the day? But
I think
then,
so. Yep.
Yeah. He coached one season in the NFL with the Jets. That was it. But a longtime Republican, spoke at the 2020 convention, and Trump gave him the Presidential Medal of Freedom in December of 2020.
Well deserved.
Yeah. So yeah, he William and Mary, North Carolina State, Arkansas, Minnesota, South Carolina, as well as Notre Dame. When he's at Notre Dame, he led the Fighting Irish to 100 victories. He won a total of 249 games across 33 seasons of coaching. Wow.
He was the nemesis. Sorry, he was the nemesis of our Johnny Majors in Tennessee. I mean, just they went head to head a lot, man. It was just great to watch those battles.
Yeah, so it's kind of sad to see him go. I loved he had a distinct voice. Lou Holtz had a very, very distinct voice, and I never knew his politics till later in life. But when I learned him, I was pretty glad to find out he was conservative. Lou Holtz gone at the age of 89. Just the clock just ticks. We can't stop that clock, can we, guys? It's one thing that keeps going.
No, and some people trying to jump into the fountain of youth out there, but they ain't found it yet.
Well, it sure as heck isn't that Celsius drink, man. Somebody sent me that stuff. That's like drinking battery acid. Oh my goodness. That's not, I'm sorry. That's not an advertisement for Celsius. Definitely not.
Celsius. Yeah. People with all sorts of creams, injections, and they get their tucks and all that stuff. It's like, it's not going to prolong your life. It's going to make you look weird as you get older though.
It does. I think I see a lot of people do that stuff. There come a term, I think, in the 1980s. Maybe they had it before. I don't know, but I used to hear him say it about certain people. She chose to age gracefully.
Okay.
Getting all the liposuction and all the dermabrasion.
But you look at them now. Look at people now, and it's just they don't even look like they're human. It's weird that it's like you're having your own Ozempic moment. You look like an alien.
Well, I will tell you someone that definitely does look like they're human still. She just turned 50, hit that half-century mark. I started watching Landman and Allie Larder. Oh my goodness, brother! Oh, that is a fine-looking woman.
Oh, Landman. Okay, yeah.
That's with Billy Bob Thornton. That's worth the view. I started watching that. It's a pretty darn good show. Pretty graphic show, but a pretty good show. But the Israeli officials said intelligence indicated Iran would have been able to enrich uranium to 90% weapons grade within 2 weeks if they hadn't decided to go ahead and launch the attacks. That's pretty crazy. They were that close. 2 weeks.
Oh, so they were actually working on this.
Of course,
they never stopped. They never stopped.
And okay, so because the left keeps saying, "Oh, they weren't even trying to make weapons."
Yes, they were.
Okay, yeah,
they never stopped. Even when we blow it up.
I know it's not all blowing up in the news either, right?
No, this is actually from CBS News sharing that, but they're not exactly making a big stink of it on broadcast television, which is what people are paying attention to. But Iran, they're having a 3-day funeral. It was been postponed because of the escalation of the war. So I wonder when they're going to have it. Yeah,
and I loved it whenever they were meeting to re-elect another guy. They blew that meeting up too. I'm like, that's perfect. You can't make it up.
I saw the third supreme leader, who I think is Khomeini's son, the big grin on his face, going, the third supreme leader. And I'm looking at a picture of a dead man.
Yep. Next up, next man up.
Yeah, right. Nobody wants the job anymore. They're pushing people into it.
So of course, we had Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and of course the teacher famously does roll call. Bueller. So in Iran, it's currently Mohammed.
Everybody named Muhammad is like not raising their hand.
They're not there. They've all been wiped out.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, we got somebody. Mad Max 73 says Colonel yawning already, and Wyatt Army standing ready for night owls. So you got your other program tonight, huh?
Yeah, that's at 10 o'clock. But I'm feeling a little under the weather, so it's kind of wiped me out a little bit here. I haven't been sick since COVID, and it wasn't COVID. Multiple tests proved that wasn't the case, but I haven't been sick in like 6 years, and I'm feeling like you get the feeling when when it's coming. And I've got that kind of feeling right now. So I might just take some cough and fever medicine tonight when I finish, just to get a good night's rest. Hopefully that's all it is. And maybe I've just overextended myself. Hopefully that's what the problem is. But yeah, we'll see. But so John, you like my salute to the Iranian Navy?
Oh yeah, man. That was good. That was good work. I like that.
I had it at full blast over here. Everybody in this house heard it. So it was good.
I saw you talking to somebody there, Todd. I figured you had your personal assistant there with you tonight.
Yes, my personal assistant Carrie's in the house. She's assisting over here. Somebody else. She's working on.
I thought you'd hired John Kerry, the Swift boat man.
No. He was over here before he was over there, right?
That's right, Mr. Flip Flop.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting when we had Neels on in the first hour, he said how people think that the South Africans have an Australian accent. But I mean, you know, I listen to South Africans and I don't hear anybody, a Mick Dundee. None of them sound like Mick Dundee. I'm sorry.
No, they
I
don't.
don't. I don't either.
That's
But
the,
I
that's
can
the
see how
untrained
people.
ear, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a trained ear. What are you saying, John?
Oh no, I was agreeing with you. I didn't get that either, but I can see how people could get it confused. You know, like Todd said, with an untrained ear.
Well, it's like a Philly and Pittsburgh accent. There's a difference there.
Oh,
You
no,
know,
there
it's
is.
a-
Well, and look,
yeah.
I mean, guys, look, if you live in Maryland and your ear is attuned to it,
Oh, yeah.
you will pick up different accents from Annapolis, Arnold, Greenhaven, Glen Burnie, Brooklyn, and South Baltimore, Dundalk. All those
Baltimore,
areas they have very distinct accents, and if you're attuned to it, you can pick it up. You'll know without someone telling you where they're from. They're from Dundalk. Yep, they're from Arnold down by Annapolis. You can just tell. It's kind of weird. And then of course you got these people that live over on the Eastern Shore in some of those islands that for 300 or 400 years.
Oh, yeah.
you can
All
barely
languages.
understand that when they speak English. You can barely understand them.
Yeah, it's a dead language basically now on the mainland anyway.
Yeah, no, it's kind of hard to follow what some of those people say. Those oystermen and crabbers out there, the thing that's they lived that maritime life for centuries over there, and they say words, they say them, they hear them, but we don't hear them because they swallow half the word.
Yeah, and it's like, what did you say? And it's like it's in a sound. It's like there was 2-3 words in there. It's like I didn't get it, you know.
Yep, no, it's crazy stuff. But this conflict in Iran will likely continue for people. Ask me how long it's going to last. I said, well, it's going to go 6 weeks minimum. They're like, what? I mean, yeah, 6 weeks. You know, we can't do the job halfway. We've got to do it all the way this time. So of course they're already panicking. Oh, what's the end state? When will it end? When will it end? Relax. You know, if we get to 2 months, then you can start asking that question.
They come right out the gate with the Trump promised no more endless wars. Who said this is an endless war? I mean, we don't even have boots on the ground.
Correct. And when did Trump promise that? He bemoaned endless wars. He didn't promise no endless wars. And oh, by the way, while they're complaining about endless wars, Trump is ending conflicts all over the globe.
Yeah.
Trump didn't start this war. The Iranian mullah started this war in 1979. That's when this war started.
Down in Central South America, he's going after narco terrorists down there. You know, so that's not an endless war or anything like that. That's a precise operation.
Reagan started the war on drugs in the 1980s. It's continued.
For
it hasn't
sure.
ended. Yep.
I'm just saying what Trump's doing now with some of the operations that he's doing. You know, it's basically just getting reported more nowadays. That's been going on. Seventh Group's been down there for years, decades now.
The thing of it is that we've heard all these people throughout time. We're going to do this and we're going to do that and we're going to fight the war on drugs. We got to complete this. And they never do anything. They get in office and they never do anything. Trump went in there, pretty much didn't say a whole lot. He said stuff, but he didn't sit there and balk about it like some other people have. But he is doing something about it. He's put his foot down. He's put action to effort. He's doing something about it. He's getting things done, and they're mad about it because it's not them. Because he actually had the guts to get up and do it.
Yeah, we've had, let's see, since Carter, we've had Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden, and now Trump. Nine presidencies before someone took action against these crazy people.
So somebody says your name's Bachman. What's that all about? What's going on there, Colonel?
Oh, Bachman. Yeah,
Bachman,
BOK
okay.
is that's a springbok is like a gazelle.
Okay.
And the national side is known as the Springboks. One of my viewers made some animated cartoons. He calls me Bachman. I'm superhuman with large biceps and a physique, and I wear a cape and a green outfit with a Springbok mounted on it and a mask. You know, I'm fighting for justice.
Okay, I love it. Yeah, but Greenland though, are you still interested in that job or?
Yeah, the Viceroy of Greenland. You know, in fact, I mean, I don't think the left has anything to complain about until Black Hawk helicopters land my entourage in Nuuk and we take over. Once we take over the government house there in Nuuk, then they can.
There it is. Oh, there it is, Viceroy of Greenland. There's the picture for our viewers.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And you gave names to your two helpers there.
Yes, yeah, they're Inuit. Both of them Inuit. So I even have a theme song, the Viceroy of Greenland, to a Viking theme song. You know, beer drinking song, not quite like the Irish jig we had for the Iranian Navy, but yeah, no, we talk about the Dorset who came there first, and then the Vikings, and then the Inuit replaced, and then the Danes came. Anyway, and in the end, Trump says, "I'll have it. I'll buy it with silver." The Danes laughed from their towers at Trump, but in the end, we installed the viceroy of Greenland. But until you see Black Hawk helicopters and some cruisers off the coast of Greenland invading, I think the left needs to be quiet, because the wars that Trump is engaged in are wars that other people started, not Donald Trump.
Somebody brought that up to me, that the fact of the matter is we have been in war with Iran. We just had no declaration of war. But
Sure,
we have
well,
been.
they
if Trump
declare
is
war on us.
They what?
They declare war on us.
So,
Sure.
okay, we had their declaration of war, but we never declared any war. But the point is, we have been in war. So Trump taking this action is not unconstitutional by any means. He is taking necessary action for war that has been declared on the United States. Whether Congress wanted to recognize that or not is irrelevant.
Yeah, he said challenge accepted, and that's it. Done.
Yeah, well, and by the time that the War Powers Act kicks in and he needs an authorization for Congress to continue using force, he shouldn't need it. It should be over.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true too.
Very likely. Very
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I find it ironic, because it's always people on the political left who scream about war as if soldiers actually like war. Yeah, we're among the first casualties in war. We don't like war. I don't know where people get that concept from. That is not something we're into. So somebody said, Wesley Clark said Iran will be invaded in 2001 following the attack on the Twin Towers. Well, he was wrong. We didn't invade Iran in 2001, did we? It took 25 more years.
Yeah.
I actually I'm in a movie with Wesley Clark. I have Screen Actor Guild credits. Did you guys know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah. Now I went out to Aspen, Colorado for an energy conference while still in the Army, and they were filming out there, and he was there with his son, was also involved in the project. And the Hollywood film crew filmed me talking to Wesley Clark about energy and things like that. It was interesting. So General Clark pulled me aside and said to me, he says, "Hey, Chris, when you get older, you're conservative now, but you're going to shift to the left." And I just wanted to laugh, but I didn't. I didn't want to be disrespectful to General Clark. I mean, no, that's not how things work. Most people, their brain gets sorted correctly after they hit 30, and they realize that the youthful exuberance of, free love, free drugs, free booze, free everything, somebody pays for that. And there's norms in society. Most people become more conservative as they become older. There are exceptions. You've got your Bernie Sanders that are out there, your true diehards, but most people see the error of their ways from becoming leftists and wind up becoming conservatives as they become older. I think, no disrespect to General Clark, but if anything, I've become more conservative than I was as I got older. Not less conservative. So, I mean, initially I was just a fiscal conservative in my youth, but I've become much more social conservative too as I've gotten older.
Well, you see how society has to exist. You can't exist with some crazy liberal leftist ideology, free everything, free love, whatever. You have to have structure, and that's a conservative value, right? Family values, and so on and so forth. I mean, that's how societies work, right? Rules-based society, so on.
Well, that's how it's supposed to work, but there's a lot of people out there that just live their own way and don't really care about things. It's shocking to me how many people hate this country who are citizens born here. I'm not so shocked by people who come here and who are first generation Americans. You would think they'd be more in tune to love America, but they grow up with this idiocy and this Heimweh, this urge for home that they never had because it's their culture, and they wind up hating America. And I wish we had a way to get rid of people like Ilhan Omar. Well, she's an immigrant, but
Deportation.
Rashida Tlaib.
Rashida
Tlaib is one I'm thinking about. She was actually born here because we allowed her parents, Palestinians, to stay in this country and go to university, and they popped out a baby. And now she's the most vile, repulsive human beings out there, and she's in Congress. The people of Michigan should be ashamed for voting her in office. They should all be taken out the street and publicly horsewhipped at least once a week. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Once a week till they correct their actions, right?
That's right. Until the corrective actions take place. And too bad for them that the primary or the general election is not till November. It just means they get 6 months of whippings.
Yeah, I mean, that's not cruel and unusual because it's going to end in 6 months. You vote the right way, you're good to go.
There's an end state for this, and if they vote correctly.
Yeah, it's not cruel and unusual, I guess. All right.
You're right. You make a good point. You wonder how these people get reelected. People like Nancy Pelosi, how they keep getting reelected. How do these people? You're watching a California tank. People are fleeing California because they can't afford to live there anymore. We've seen people living in tents that were making $60,000, $70,000 a year that couldn't afford an apartment in California because it's so expensive to live.
Yeah,
and they keep getting reelected. The same people. I mean, like what's this? Newsom. I mean, geez, he's still there. How?
Yeah. See, this is the problem with these idiots that think there should be things like minimum wage. Minimum wage, all that does is devalue the dollar. If you automatically pay everybody $15, then it's not worth anything. because now everyone gets $15. So the same amount of resources are available. The same amount of housing is there. The same amount of food is there. The same amount of fuel. It doesn't make it any more scarce or more available. It simply gives more people money and they go after it and they buy things, and it pushes up the price of things because they become more in demand. I think, a lot of people need to take a class in basic economics, macroeconomics, and learn about capitalism, supply and demand. You can't state control economies. It fails in the end because something gives way. So it's just really a sad thing to see these people push these minimum wage things. You see places like Jackson Hole in Wyoming where people can't afford to live. I mean, houses are millions of dollars. The uber wealthy, the money means nothing to them. They've got so much money. And so if everyone has so much money, the money means nothing. It drives up prices for everything. It's the average home in Teton County is like $7.5 or $8.5 million to own a home. And most people have an $8 million home, just paid cash for it. They've got it. Their money is no object to them. It's a land of billionaires, not just millionaires, but billionaires out there now. It's crazy. And I know I've stayed in one of those people's houses. These people were worth tens of millions of dollars when I was out there a few years ago with Wyoming Catholic College. I stayed overnight in a place, and these people are minted. It was very nice of them to put me up, but they were not hurting for money.
Yeah,
people should read. People should read this book right here.
Yeah,
The Wealth of Nations.
Yeah. Adam Smith and David Ricardo. They got it right.
That's a good thick book right there, baby.
All right, it sits right there on my shelf. It's right over there.
Yep. There you go.
Right, Wealth of Nations. Yep. Right over there, next to my YouTube plaque.
As you were saying that, I'm sitting there thinking here in New Hampshire, you got the leftists trying to push for, we don't have a sales tax in New Hampshire, nor do we have a personal income tax.
But
and
you
we
got
like
property
it that way.
taxes.
We got property taxes, and they are quite chunky. However, they want to raise, the left wants to bring in sales tax. They'll say, well, your property taxes are so high, we have to bring in sales tax. It's like, how's that going to help? Because now I got to pay sales tax on top of the property tax. How about we start budgeting? How about we start lowering the cost of doing things? How about we start adequately working within our means as a government? And
How about you
stop
quit
gouging the
wasting money?
people? Exactly.
Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's budget 10 years ago was $34 billion. Now it's over $50 billion a year.
Ooh, baby.
That's direct money coming out of our pockets on top of 20 or 30 billion more that comes from the federal government every year. And we still pay for a turnpike that was paid off a century ago. It cost me $52 to drive to Pittsburgh in tolls.
Jesus. Wow.
Yeah, that's one way.
Outrageous.
I paid $105 to go there and back. It's insane. Yeah, nothing's free in life. Someone has to pay for it. So, folks, there you go. Our 250th anniversary tonight. A little applause there. 250 shows tonight we've done. I'm shocked that it's been that long. It's just amazing that we're still here and it's been going on for as long as it has. But 250 episodes, I didn't realize it went that long. But, John, it's 250. Congratulations on our 250th episode.
Yeah, good job. You've done a good job there in the studio, Nashua,
Quite
New
a few
Hampshire.
years now.
Hold it
That's
down,
what I
baby.
told Neels coming in here. I'm go, yeah, we've been doing this for quite a few years now, but it's still just about as bad as doing as I was when I started. But we've been doing it for quite a few years.
Yeah, John, but you
Well,
don't look any older. You look the same age.
That's because I keep the camera so dim.
The
Right,
lights are
and
low.
the lights down, yeah.
So
that camera just does that. The lights are actually bright in here, but it's just that one camera because I've changed cameras in here before and see it brighten right up.
So we celebrate our 250th episode in the year that the United States celebrates 250 years of freedom. How cool is that, Todd?
That is very cool. Oh, also today is the anniversary of the Constitution. So
there you go.
Boom. Yeah.
Nice.
There you go. 1787. It came out and ratified in 1789. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So 250 episodes. I don't think we ever thought we'd be doing this long, but I think that's going to wrap it up for this week, folks. We'll catch you next week.